We have Jim Hubbard, one of the filmmakers here tonight. I am completely honored to be in the program. I think we're opening with that, but I'll leave that to John to announce the programming. And I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else I should say?
Welcome, Jon Gartenberg.
Oh, John, of course. In so many ways, like so much a part of our family. And you know, we'll talk about that probably some other time, but you can also do the research. Google Jon Gartenberg, and Google Jon Gartenberg Jack Waters.
Yes.
And Google Le Petit Versailles. And Google everything while you're at it. Okay, is there anything else? That I know that didn't make any sense. But
Just welcome, John.
Matt McKenzie, thank you very much. Will be our projectionist tonight. Matt also representing Filmmakers Co-op, Denizen, and Habitué, and one of the movers and shakers there.
Yes.
And so in that generational way, I am going to do a shout out with MM Sarah, who brought the Filmmakers Co-op to an amazing place, and it's really great to see these intergenerational things happening. So yeah, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
But John, I'm gonna
Come on down.
do you like the mic?
I can speak out, I think. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
You project.
Okay, so a lot of things to say. It's a program about an hour and 45 minutes, so I don't want to bore you with things, but I just want to tell you a little bit about how I came to this. So the first thing is I want to thank Jack and Peter. We have a long-standing sort of interweaving professional relationship and also personal relationship. Me and my husband David have been together about as long time as Jack and Peter, and so we've crisscrossed in many different directions. And one of the great pleasures for me was I worked in the Museum of Modern Art for 20 years as an archivist, and then I also did a project for the Estate Project for Artists with AIDS, and we worked on restoring the films of Warren Sonberg, but also downtown artist David Wojnarowicz. And then we did Jack Waters because I said, why not deal with a living filmmaker and do an archival project interacting with him to see what his perspective was about his own work. And one of the films you're going to see tonight, called Berlin, New York, was a result of that project. So the first thing I want to do is dedicate this program to my mother's side of the family. My great-grandfather that I didn't know was in the United States in the mid-1800s, and supposedly had a cigar factory right around here. And I remember in like 1976, when my grandfather was like 95, he used to stand in the middle of the street and tell me about the snowstorm of 1888 in New York, which is pretty mind-blowing. And then to think about it, that, you know, this was before cars, this was before radio, all of these kinds of things. And I'm reminded what Drake Stutzman always has said, when you talk about things, you have to think about the period in which they were made and what was going on then. So to me, it just was an incredible experience, and that leads into how I got into dealing with films about New York. So when I worked at MoMA, I just started there when I was 21 years old, and embedded in MoMA's collection, which was films about works of art, were lots of films about New York. And if you look on our website, www.gartenbergmedia.com, we uncovered a film program in 1979 that it was on for WNYC with the Mayor's Office of Film and Television, Nancy Littlefield. So I won't go through that whole discussion, but that was about experimental films from 1905 to 1957 that sort of deal with the vision of New York from a more formal aspect. And you can also see me there and see what I looked like when I was much younger. And of course, we wanted to do a clip of it, but this is the digital age, and so I'm used to 35 millimeter film and 16 millimeter film where it's easy, you just put it on the projector and screen it. With digital, you got to take it off, you got to make this file, you got to convert it and everything else. So we weren't able to do that because I thought it would have been fun to show a clip, but you could see it. So then I had this idea of doing an article about this, and Drake, who is the editor of Framework, said, "Great, John, why don't you just do an article about the history of New York City Symphony films from the 1890s to the 1910s, but from a sort of view of experimental independent films." And what I realized about that is, from the 1980s to about 2006, filmmakers took on a more directly sort of political view of New York City. Keep in mind that in the 80s, it was the middle of the Reagan era, who didn't mention AIDS at all. This was an era of also, capitalism, gentrification, all of these other issues. So this program is trying to embed in it these films that are sort of more directly have social and political implications. One film, Abigail Child, B-side, is about the homeless in Tompkins Square Park. So, that's very relevant today because there's, in California, they want to clear the homeless encampments. A couple of the films are about burned out, Jack Waters' film about the burned out Lower East Side area, and, the capitalist exploitation, sort of a commentary on that, and look at how New York City has become so expensive that a lot of young people that I know can't live in Manhattan. When I moved here, the rent was $325 a month. And so, just trying to say that there are filmmakers who deal with these political and social issues. So you have the program notes. I don't think I need to say anything more. I just want to thank everybody very much for being here. I want to thank Matt also for his great job as a projectionist because he works with Gartenberg Media Enterprises. He also worked with the co-op, so he has sort of a dual personality. I want to thank the two filmmakers that are here, everybody else who attended, and all of you who I maybe have just met or haven't met yet but would like to meet. So we're going to show the first two films are digital, and the last three films are in 16 millimeter. So that's the format that I'm used to because I worked at MoMA with 35 millimeter film and then 16 millimeter film, and then some of the other ones are in digital. In my career, I just decided that I've dealt with also all kinds of video formats and VHS and DVD and streaming, and I decided that I'm stopping my career. No AI. No AI for me. That's it. It's enough already. I want you to enjoy the program, and there'll be some slight breaks. So thank you very much for your attention, and enjoy the program.
Are we turning this off?